You know, this would be comical if it wasn't, you know, a crisis that made
Page number 2.
millions of people lose their homes.
Oh, I'm on page number 2.
Pardon?
Yes, I'm on page number 2 now.
Oh, you see that where it says tremendous profits in the second paragraph?
So this is the 2008 financial crisis of
$3 billion
Goldman Sachs.
Tremendous profit.
And these
I see the contribution
assholes are just, you know, they got these huge books that they're just dicking around, arguing over what page numbers they're on.
For that trading desk,
yeah,
it would have been, and I think the guy who's writing this is bragging about his local business.
Right, local. That's a big part of your business that year, wasn't it?
Well, it was adjacent to other businesses. I would never even see this. I would see the mortgage.
I'm showing it to you right now. Yeah, that's why I'm showing it to you right now. I'm just asking you, do you think that's a big profit? $3 billion.
That's as big. That's a big number. Just like the loss in his adjacent business is a big loss.
Right. And how about that was the profit they made?
That was the
profits
revenue
they made that year on short sales. That's what we're talking about. Taking short positions. They made huge profits. What you want to do is deduct the long positions which you had in your inventory mainly from that. That's not the question. The question is, did you bet big time in 2007 against the housing mortgage business? And you did.
No, big and did not.
Yeah. He said they did not.
No, we did not.
Oh, they did not.
Let's
Okay.
take a look at what
All
you
right.
told your board.
He says that they did not bet against it. All right. Wow, he just got in trouble right there. You gonna just straight out lie and say nope, we didn't do that.
This is just in the synthetics.
I'm sorry, Senator. In one local,
I know everything's local. I'm just telling you what happened in the shift. I'll get to the major shift in a minute. That's what you told your board, that there was a major shift. Okay, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about what made up that major shift.
This is comical.
Okay.
It's just idiots going through huge piles of paper.
See that bottom dot on Exhibit 18?
in synthetic space, yes.
The desk started the quarter with long, $6 billion, and shifted the position to net short $10 billion by reducing the longs and increasing shorts. That's what it says. Now, that was one piece of your operation. They shifted from long to short. Then you told the SEC on Form 8K, which is Exhibit 154, this is dated September 20th.
Where am I looking?
You're looking at Exhibit 154.
Obviously, they hired this guy to be just acting
Yes, sir.
as so in contempt. Look at this piles of papers.
Okay, page 3, second paragraph, second line. Net revenues and mortgages were also significantly higher despite continued deterioration in the market environment.
Look at the piles of papers.
On non-prime loans and securities were more than offset.
If anything is that complicated,
on short mortgage positions.
We don't need it.
Okay? So, your significant losses on the non-prime loans and securities were more than offset by gains on the short mortgage positions. Those are some of your net short positions. Now take a look at Exhibit 46.
I mean, I am just amazed at the amount of just incompetence and waste in the system.
Page 3.
Do we really need these huge books and these idiots
In the bottom paragraph.
saying page numbers and disputing
It's important
graphs
to note,
and this
however,
and that?
we are active traders of mortgage securities and loans, and with any of the financial instruments we trade, at any point in time, we may choose to take a directional view of the market. That's what you deny. And will express that view through the use of mortgage securities, loans, and derivatives, Therefore, although we did not have long balance sheet exposure to subprime securities in the past 3 years, albeit small, our net risk position was variously either long or short, depending on our changing view of the market.
Sure.
It's a view of the market. This is your own filing, by the way. Changing view of the market. For example, during most of '07, we maintained a net short subprime position and therefore stood to benefit from declining prices in the mortgage market. That's your filing. Now, take a look at your tax presentation, Exhibit 48. Tax Department presentation, October '07, Exhibit 48. Here on page 2, right in the middle. So what happened to us? A quick word on our own market and credit risk performance in this regard. In market risk, you saw in our second and third quarter results that we made money, despite our inherently long cash positions. Inherently long. That's what was inherited.
No, inherent, not inherited.
It's both. Much of it was inherited.
Inherit, not inherited.
Right, in your inventory. Some of it for a long time. Okay, you don't know the breakdown of that. I'm going to keep reading. Because starting early in '07, our mortgage trading desk started putting on big, short positions.
Big
Okay?
short positions.
Those aren't my words. Those are Goldman Sacks words. Big short positions, mostly using ABX, which is a family of indices designed to replicate cash bonds, and did so in enough quantity that we were net short and made money. Substantial money in the third quarter as the subprime market weakened. That remains our position today. That's your tax department's presentation. You made
Why do we
substantial money
need
in the third quarter?
all of this bullshit? All of this.
I'm sorry, that was the chief risk officer.
You know, why we need these word
in
games
an internal presentation to
and all of
Goldman
this
Sachs department.
inefficiency in the
Perfectly
system,
accurate.
and
you
to
did
get
that
such a
filing
crappy
you've already
product out of
read
it.
about. Talking about,
You know, you would think from all of
you did
this
very well that year. You did very well
that
because
everybody would have a house,
you
that we would have
had a
no
big short.
homeless people.
And then
But this is what you get from this stupid, complicated system.
Exhibit
Let me read
45.
these guys for a second,
That's the
because they're just speaking gibberish anyways. You know, they're arguing over page numbers and word games, and it's all bullshit. Because if they ever just, you know, all they would have to do is take all those books that they're reading, all these notes that they're arguing over, and just burn them. And, you know, just say, why don't you start with some common sense things like everybody needs a space of their own. Why don't you start with that? That will give you a baseline standard and will fix the problems. Because, you know, I mean, who are we kidding? All this is just word games and, you know, shuffling of numbers, and it's ridiculous. It can't last like this. You know, look at the piles of paper. And the bottom line is this. People, you have to have standards. You know, if you work on a baseline standard and just start from the common sense of people need places to live, start off with that standard. Everybody needs a place to live. Bottom line. And once you have that baseline, once you start working with standards, then you could really work with, you know, improving the standards. But this is just, you know, bullshit. You know, they're just trying to disguise the theft and the corruption that they have committed with these word games and you know, stacks of papers and charts and graphs and all this other mumbo jumbo that is bullshit.